Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics, and so Change UK, which is the group of MPs who left mostly from Labour, some from the Conservatives, and then tried to form their own party, is basically dead on its arse now. 6 of the 11 MPs have quit to become independent MPs once again. At the time, although I had to say that when it first started, in these people kept asking me, can they actually make something of it? And I thought, well, in these politically turbulent times, I can't be certain. It's too easy to judge what can happen in politics by what has happened in politics during the time you've been politically aware. So for me, that's about 30 years. But actually, if you look much further back, occasionally these mad things do happen. And we are in mad times. So I couldn't rule it out, but I really didn't see how it could succeed. Because when we looked at what caused the group to form in the first place, there were a number of factors which I didn't think bode well for a genuinely new political force. The first is that the motivation was that they were dismayed with their respective parties' failure to at least oppose the lies concerning Brexit. In the case of the Labour MPs, not opposing Brexit at all was fairly unacceptable for them. But that's no basis for a new political movement. You stay and fight is what you should do in that scenario. The second thing was that they were all MPs who were fairly bright and ambitious, but they had no home within their own party. These MPs were being increasingly stranded by Labour and the Conservative leadership, moving out towards the extreme ends of the spectrum, but not just moving towards the extremes, moving to the extremes and leaving everyone else behind them. So pride may have played some part in the move. Also, potentially a belief that many more would have joined them as well. But either way, it's not really particularly inspiring. And then perhaps the greatest indicator of trouble ahead was that they resisted forming a party at all. They only did this to fight the European elections. Up until that point, they remained a loose collective of independent MPs. I mean, I said at the time that perhaps the reason was that they hoped to attract more MPs and didn't want to reduce the chances of that with policies that were decided amongst the initial 11, really, which may not have found favour with others who may wish to join them. But a party needs policies. Well, actually, no, I might be wrong about that. Nigel Farage seems to be providing evidence to the contrary there. But a serious party at least should have policies, and it seems they disagreed on too much to really have any. They all wanted a second referendum. You might almost have thought they'd call themselves the Referendum Party, except that's what UKIP used to be. But beyond that, they couldn't even agree on how to position themselves with other parties. Some felt that they needed to distance themselves from, for example, the Liberal Democrats, the party you would most obviously draw parallels with. A fairly pointless endeavour because they had no common policies to distinguish themselves with. The result was that they failed to work with the Liberal Democrats on a common platform of opposing Brexit, something that might have worked to challenge Nigel Farage's Brexit party. But in the pursuit of attempts to appear different to a party for their long-term political future, and when it's a party like the Lib Dems with whom they shared all political objectives, such as was stated, they basically screwed themselves and their supporters over. The MPs who have now left Change UK, so these are people who've now left two parties in the space of a few months, have described leaving so that they can be more flexible when it comes to working cross-party in Parliament. Now, I would take that as a message that these were the people who wanted to work with the other pro-EU parties and not distance themselves for no good reason at all. And although it's been a bit of a shambles, and I was dismayed when the Labour MPs in particular at least left their party, I was a lot more pleased when the Conservative MPs left theirs. And it was all just to join a fool's errand, really. I still have respect for what they're trying to do. Some of them were described, for example, by people trying to put them down as career politicians. Now, as if that's something to be jeered at. But they also couldn't be more wrong. A career politician seeks re-election throughout their, career. So Jeremy Corbyn is a career politician. Diane Abbott is a career politician. Nothing wrong with that. That's fine. There's quite a lot of career politicians. But what a career politician doesn't do is leave their party when they disagree with the leadership. What they have done is almost certain to end their parliamentary careers, potentially even end their careers in politics, for the principles of opposing a damaging Brexit, albeit misplaced. Not that I think their principles are misplaced, just their methods. I didn't think it was very likely to succeed. They should have remained in their parties and opposed Brexit from there. And if it saw them being so hated by the leadership that they were deselected for standing up for their own constituents, well, they wouldn't have lost anything compared with the situation they're in now. But leaving as they did and then abandoning their own project like this it's just harmed their own cause. Throughout the last few months, they have been treading on the toes of other groups with whom they should have been working, damaging the work made by better organised people such as the Liberal Democrats and the People's Vote campaign. And all because they committed the cardinal sin of doing exactly what the Brexiteers did, to pursue a goal without a plan. Only they didn't get away with it because they had too much integrity to persist with this goal without a plan on the bandwagon whose wheels had fallen off, although not quite enough integrity to have worked with existing groups that shared the same aims, instead of trying to cram one more campaign into an already crowded niche. So, although the party still technically exists at the moment, it's got 5 MPs, and in the months since they really got together, they haven't tempted any other. Even some people who have stepped down from their party have not been tempted to join them. So, it's really, I think it's fair to say now, a spent political force. It performed very, very badly in the European elections, and that's what they were gearing up for. And that was their one policy for the party, referendum. And they couldn't fight that. I have to say, I haven't yet been able to bring myself to go through the number of votes that went to them in various regions and see if maybe they'd have gone to the Lib Dems or Greens, it would have made a difference in terms of distribution of seats. I don't really want to see that it might have done, because that would be awful, because they wouldn't just have failed then, they'd have actually, even more so than it seems obvious to me, harmed their own cause, as I say. I think they've been foolish. I think they're not likely to be here after a general election, but I seriously don't think that this is the start of a new party in politics. I didn't see it before, and surely you can't see it now. But anyway, there we go. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for further content, click the bell notification as well. Until next time, I'll see you later.